Good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. As we have a pretty sweet day of Counter-Strike, Keith, if I say so myself. This is one of my favorite days, Keith. Okay, it's Elimination Day, not for big frames or under 21, which is the first match coming up right here, but the second match, Keith, that will be an elimination match, a survival of the fittest, if you will, in its most beautiful form in Counter-Strike, Keith. No one gets hurt for real. It's all fantasy, but someone is still gonna get eliminated. The first team for season 4 in this new format to be eliminated, that will be the next game. For now, it is big frames, the 1-1 scoreline along with under 21, and they are on Mirage, Keith. I think Knife's already underway, so we can get that going. But maybe we can get some thoughts out before we move on to the pistol round here.
Yeah, I mean, both teams like this map. They've actually, under 21 has a 20% pick rate on this, 22% for big frames. Funny enough, though, under 21 have a 70% win rate on this map, playing it 10 times. So clearly playing really well lately. And I think this under 21 lineup has some future talents. They've built themselves a nice system. And this match should be good, Roy. I'm excited for it.
All right, let's get this action going then. Another thing to note as well is that there has been some serious roster reformation here for big frames, so that's one thing to consider as well. I think the only remaining player from the big frames roster is actually Byte, so this is an entirely brand new roster, bringing along with them the French Canadian core of Melio, Hughes, Incred, and Millie, or as he likes to be called, Mile. But right now it is going to be under 21, looking to defend what looks to be an A split here for the big frame side. It's only a matter of time now before that top smoke lands in the top con. A little block vision here for KMZ. But there's still a crossfire underneath balcony and CT spawn here between Wills and Sneaky.
Yeah, will it get overlooked? The flash comes over from Milio. KMZ gonna come back and try to assist. A bait for B Wills. Nice shot on the bite. KMZ is gonna keep pushing forward. Two for the man. Can he get three? B Wills steals it. B Wills finds two. And Fang a one tap onto Millie. Under 21 clean that up in under 21 seconds. And big frames now with no plant. Perhaps they buy. Those are some crisp shots. The setup held strong.
I like the idea from big frames though. I think that they're like maybe a couple seconds away as well from under 21 taking the bait on their little fake towards Cat. I like that. But unfortunately, it was just a little bit off time here. Now B Wills is going to be going pretty aggressive toward this A ramp, Keith. Looking for that SMG money. Maybe not. He needs to smoke to defend himself while KMZ is looking for the battles out of mid. Knowing, of course, without the bomb plant, it's very unlikely that big frames have actually purchased armor. Mile to find a return frag onto Sneaky.
Yeah, nice dig shot. Mile. You said he prefers Mile over Millie, right? Perfect. Ooh! Second shot. Now they get some ground, and then Cred is going to find KMZ. Roy, seemingly out of nowhere. Shot on Spammer to get the gun out of their hands. This retake's very doable. A lot of pressure on Fang. Spammer needs to hide because he knows they're going to be hunting for him. Trying to isolate a 2v1. Fang, make sure he gets involved, and he'll clean it up nicely. That's, honestly, though, a bomb plant for no armor and pistol upgrade investment plus 3 kills. They're laughing.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty solid round, all things considered, for the big frame side. But this is where their ultra efforts will matter, right? This is the first swing round here available for big frames, especially now that they've done some pretty serious economic damage to under 21. And we'll likely see under 21 use up their entire bank here. And yep, there it is, that entire bank not being used up. So they will go for the full artillery, Keith. The full utility. They got the full kits as well. Only B Wills down to an MP9. KMZ on the FAMAS. Instead of downgraded firepower, it'll be KMZ with the FAMAS window to eliminate Mile now. My friend, should be big frames. They are trying to find a return frag, but KMZ immediately smokes a Molotov to provide himself some cover. Now, Melio is going to take this into his own hand, and he catches B Wills now, and he's going to draw a lot of attention to himself, Keith. Okay, maybe not. He gets eliminated instantly, and Fang gets one in mid as well. So it's using and Cred down. 2 versus 4, Keith.
Oh, and Fang's looking deadly early. 5 kills, spraying through the smoke, even landing onto Incred. Now he knows where he is. Sneaky peeks, and it's a trade well worth it. The AWP can be retrieved for KMZ. You know he wants it. He'll even give up the AK. Where does he go? He kind of has like a connector spawn, like a late connector, maybe an A ramp peak. Whatever he really wants, his spawn's not ideal. 121, keep it rolling, and MP9 brought into Spammer's hands. Well, Big Frames can go ahead for some armor, upgraded pistols, try to get a cheeky pick, but KMZ, I'm telling you, Roy, without a doubt, he is the next man in NA. The next Opper, who I think can break through. I'm always impressed with KMZ. It is a pistol around here, but he's not all that long.
Yeah, you have been a pretty big advocate of KMZ.
For a long time.
And honestly, I can see why. I can see why. I think we get glimpses of that every single time we see him play. He's kind of always that constant presence in the server, and you gotta love that from an opera. So I can see why you stand, Keith. I can see why you stand. Now under 21, they've done a pretty good job so far. They've actually they've got 2 AKs still remaining into this second gun round. KMZ's on the off, of course. The full utility is there as well, and Big Frames, they have mild down to no utility whatsoever. So if they want to go out mid, they'll use a lot of that. But actually, they're gonna try switching it up this time around. They're gonna go very heavy towards the A site, looking to execute, possibly looking to explode here on this A site as soon as those Molotovs and the utilities fade. But Keith, I think with under 21 not feeling any pressure mid, they've sent numbers here to this A site.
It's the same setup as we saw in Pistol, under Belk, CT, Connector, but this time with an op for KMZ. Hoping to catch this Palace player. It is Bite with the rifle in Palace. Sneaky is gonna go ahead and just smoke ramp. Perfect timing on that, right when Big Frames wanted to execute. Now they're gonna have to slow down. That nade may connect, just a little shallow. D-Wills is pushed up here, Roy, looking for some aggressive hits. Instead, will slowly be chipped away, and as soon as the smoke fades, look for flashes and mollies to come raining in through Big Frames members. There's the molly towards sandwich. Flashes come over the top. KMZ, bottom player in Palace. He's lost his teammate with ramp. Can KMZ pop off? He's only got one. Bang from CT, swinging wildly with an M4, baiting for Sneaky and Ninja. There are just too many bodies here for Big Frames to deal with. And Yuz is gonna need some help.
Oh, he's gonna need a lot more than just some help. He's gonna need a miracle out of this one, especially with now and Cred being eliminated and use in the 1 versus 4. Now, I was kind of hyping this man up, right? And then before we went on air, Hughes is actually a pretty prominent talent kind of coming up from the French-Canadian scene, which, to be fair, there's been a lot of talent coming up out of the French Canada. And, well, unfortunately, the 1 versus 4 is a little too much to handle. But I am starting to become a little bit concerned. I know it's still early. It's only the 6th round. Yeah. But we're not really seeing Big Frames manipulate the map whatsoever, right? We're not really seeing them apply pressure in mid. We're not really seeing them pull rotates. And it feels like all their attack strategies are pretty well read right now by under 21. Even without them really contesting the map control. They're just playing off the mid pressure.
KMZ goes for a mid pick, down to 15 HP. Big Frames buy up on max loss. Very little utility, very brawly style into this round. Looking to just take their AKs, find a pick, and roll with it. Under 21 in the meantime, getting Spammer pushed up in B halls. So he'll have info. In middle, Sneaky must be tested. A great nade, as he's not going to allow Connector to be taken for free. That second B player can now cheat towards CT and worry about window. Fang's going to be here. He's been all over the map. And he's going to continue to be a nuisance. A beautiful flash comes over, and it's a slaughter in middle. Under 21 will walk away with a man advantage. The flash, the utility, the timing on the peaks, everything clearly well communicated. As Bite looks to try to find the entry for on B, and Spammer gives it to him. That wasn't for free. That was a gorgeous flick over. Yeah. Bite, another player from NA that I think has really done a nice job of building a brand around himself. But on the short end, getting the short end of the stick for now in this match. But this is their turn to turn this around.
And a little bit of an overexposed peak there from Bite. He's allowed himself to be chipped down at 32 HP. KMZ's still down to 15 from his earlier aggression in towards middle. This is going to be a tough one here. If he gets tagged, I like this decision from KMZ, right? Go first. Let the rifle bait you. Just get information. Try to go for that first kill. He will able to return frag, and he knows exactly where Hughes is now, but it's a dance around the pillars, Keith.
Oh, he wins it. He'll grab the op. Big Frames pick up a round, Roy. Big one. And I know you can't see use his profile picture, but it is a American and Quebec flag, which I found funny because it's a lot of Quebec players and he's the American, so it all makes sense. With the exception of Bite, I believe he's American as well.
Hughes is not American.
Or sorry, he uses
French
Quebec, and he has French Canadian. He has the American flag, and yeah, to Bite. Sorry,
you know,
mess that up. Mess that up.
We love solidarity regardless, though.
Very true.
Pick attempt to be being performed by looking at that opening frag outside the A ramp has now caused complete mayhem on this A site with players from Big Frames transgressing and pushing forward here on all fronts, but unfortunately they're not able to get past the crossfires in no man's land. Keep one of the hardest crosses in the game, especially if you don't have smokes for connector or jungle, as there are multiple lanes that could be gunning you down. Now it's down to Use and Incred. Incred will be the first to open up in this situation, and it's down to the 2 versus 3, a manageable scenario, especially considering KMZ's down to 6 HP.
Ooh, KMZ holds the cross, and his op shots are gifted to him all from the same angle. He'll get 3, 11 and 3 he is. Fang on 13, and those two have just been rotating around the map so freely, taking all the fights on their terms with flashes from their teammates, and Big Frames unable to adjust. It's kind of been the Fang and KMZ show. They are dictating the pace. They're controlling how this map is playing out. KMZ may be overwhelmed here, stuck on the right side of connector. Yeah, has to peek in a milli. Mile. As Fang from Catwalk with his rifle, trying to maintain this round and keep somewhat of a cap on it. Could have went the wrong way. Spammer, M4 spray a little long, but he maintains. 7-1, lucky number. I think there's some soccer joke to be made here, Roy. I don't even know. I feel like that's so long ago.
Okay. I think we're beyond the 7-1 now. I haven't really seen that reference being made anymore. I think it's paid its dues and it went out, Keith. And he's not done paying his dues to his team. He's gonna keep collecting those opening middle mile. What a wow!
The 100 HP Molly. KMZ gets 2 and oh no. Well, they say when it rains, it pours. And convert that to CS talk. When you're on a roll, you're on a roll. And under 21 are rolling. And I think Big Frames did have a nice job of keeping these rounds somewhat close at the right times. So under 21's economy, again, still hasn't bloomed. Yeah. Very recoverable half still from Big Frames, but I think they have to start it soon, Roy, if not now.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. This is the perfect time to strike. Like, although you've put 8 rounds on the board here and only won a Big Frames, their economy is really struggling, and you're absolutely right on that front. But Big Frames, they've... Oh man. Spammer's gonna be holding it down from Van. He's good for 1. Fang's good for the 2nd, but they have eliminated one of the anchors, and they just got to deal with Fang now, who's now eliminated Use. But the rotates, it reinforces Steve. It has arrived, and they're just coming in now on all pieces, and just another slaughter here from the under 21 side. And that's the round that they needed, right? The 4 players alive. This is where they kind of get out of that economic trap.
Yeah.
The 2 players that we hyped up on Big Frames are on the bottom. What are your thoughts on that? We hyped up Bite. We hyped up Use. They're struggling.
You win as a team, you fail as a team, Roy.
Okay.
I think they're just, it's a lack of presence across the map. They've let Fang and KMZ, their ego is unchecked. They're fighting everything. They're peeking like they don't care. And it's all just going their way right now. They feel very loose. As Bite's going to come out towards ramp, and his Deagle over B-Wills is nice on the first. Sneaky and Ninja is going to get cleared. Bite face checks it with Sneaky, slowing them down to 3. Fang comes to the smoke. There's the confidence, helps out his boy. And under 21 hit double digits, Big Frames they can buy again. At least one of the players I talked up, and KMZ is performing well with his, at this point you can say, long-term off and on teammate of Fang. So this roster and this group of friends has been through a lot. It's been 5-6 seasons. I used to coach some of them, and they've come all this way now. It's been honestly a progression for a lot of these players.
Yeah, I've said this before. I can't remember which broadcast it was, but Fang is actually an incredible talent. But we got to hold that thought for a second right now, because the action is in fact underway. And it's going to be a double kill here coming out from KMZ and B-Willed. But Incred does find a return frag out in mid. If you can eliminate Sneaky here, but it's not favorable at all when you're walking through that smoke. And once again, using the impossible scenario here. Bombs all the way back top mid, Keith. Not really fancying his odds, but I know that he's looking for any sort of equalizer right now. But the double peak does come out. And under 21 are on fire, Keith. I also think that there's something that we do have to discuss, right? The fact that Big Frames, their roster is like brand new. Like,
oh, it's so new.
I think it's even a day old. I feel like that matter.
I was gonna say, do they really have any time to scrim, to warm up, to get ready for this? Probably not. And especially when you're jumping in at this level of play, it's gonna be hard. You're playing catch up. Like, it takes at least months to get synergy going, let alone your default set in place that everyone remembers them. They don't have to constantly ask, wait, where am I going? What's my pathing? I throw what smoke? So I have a feeling Big Frames are kind of just playing as loose and as malleable as they can. And it's just a structured under 21 that goes unchecked. Their egos get big, and Fang's willing to fight you nonstop. KMZ's peeking everything. I'm just going to check flash assists because I'm curious. I feel like there's been a ton. Yeah, 14 for B-Wills, 11 for KMZ, and the other players all have their own. But utility damage, over 200 for Spammer, over 200 for B-Wills, 163 for Fang. So even their nades are connecting. It's been no fun.
It almost feels like Big Frames have not had a single round where they get out into a part of the map that they're looking to go out on, and they come out unscathed. This time they're 18 HP and 38 HP for Melio and Bite, respectively. And B-Wills is still holding down towards the A ramp side. So the smoke will deny the A split for now. But that smoke will soon fade, Keith. And B-Wills has to make a decision. He's either pushing forward or pushing backwards. And Mile will come right through and eliminate B-Wills. Melio will eliminate Fang towards Cat as well. But KMZ is still alive. And so is Sneaky with the op on the A side. But Incred does eventually eliminate Sneaky. And Bite takes down KMZ. There it is. A sense of life here. And an advantageous scenario for Big Frames.
Old Spammer!
Oh!
What? The old man's got aim! I thought I was about to facepalm, being no, Spammer, not the M4 spray, and he recovers it. I know Spammer is gonna be so happy and surprised. He's the type of player that reacts with like, don't worry, I had that. And just kind of smiles, when deep down he knows he should have been traded. That is kind of a...
Like, come on, man. I'm hyping up Big Frames to get their second round here, potentially buy themselves a lifeline. Then Spammer's got to do us like that. That's just disrespectful, Spammer. Oh, wow. This almost feels cruel at this point, Keith.
I'd say, yeah. I think it's kind of bullying, but it's kind of like Big Frame signed up for this, so it's not. It's just outclassed. For sure. Spammer dodging flashes, Incred flashes himself as Spammer dances around the bench. KMZ's coming in with a Tech 9. He's getting shot by his own teammates, and one Tech 9 bullet to take him down. 3 from KMZ, and a 14-1/2. 21 kills Fang, 21 KMZ. Jeez. They seem to be having a race.
Yeah, they have 42 kills combined.
That's so crazy.
Wait, what's actually even crazier is that the 21 kills that each of these players has is almost the same amount as the third and fourth player combined. And they each have that. That's a lot. That's a lot to swallow. The other thing, too, is like, there's 75 kills maximum and a half. And among those two players, they have over 55 to 60% of those kills.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That says a lot, I think. It is going to be under 21 with some sort of set piece towards the B site. Smokes are raiding over the skies with the flashbang soon falling. B-Wills is attempting to make his way, but he gets plucked out of the sky. A 1-for-1 trade so far leaves Yuz in quite a predicament here if he's not able to find another kill, and he can't get. He just gets spammed down by Spammer. And it's a 4 versus 3 now. Bite quickly on pursuit, and Fang to eliminate the flank pressure now as well. And I think with those 2 kills, that might have solidified the advantage here for under 21.
Oh, but Fang overcommits, he overpeaks, he overfights, he goes down, Incred falls. Mile 1v2, given the 1v1, but KMZ comes out on top. Everyone from under 21 nearly had a kill there, except B-Wills. Everyone else got the frags required, 15 for under 21. Now Roy, and this may be the fastest match we've had in Winners League thus far.
Yeah, I think this is undeniably the fastest match we've had in Winners League so far. So far.
so far. That's why I left it open. If someone wants to try to beat it, we'll see if there's a world record for fastest game, and we'll see if we get there.
I want to propose an idea to Winners League. Winners of the fastest maps will get a bonus at the end of the season.
Exactly.
$250 bonus. Miles looking to hold back against what is the final hoorah here for 121 to get their win solidified. And they've already found the opening pick here. They've taken some damage in Spammer and Fang. That's going to be it until the smoke settle and the second wave of action begins here in the retake.
Ooh, pistols coming out on top right now. And it's just trades galore. Spammer on 6 HP, so B-Wills has to be careful and bait him. Guns are down. Use and bite to grab. The flick is off the mark. 6 HP and make it 0. Under 21 have done it in what feels like 21-ish minutes. They have been on a tear, and the tear will continue. This team has had some rough spots. They've looked interesting in some matches, like a shadow of themselves. But when they find themselves and play their game plan, and you have Fang and KMZ popping off,
yes,
they seem like a deadly duo. And it doesn't stop there, because they have Sneaky and B-Wills. Players have been in MDL and have been around Winners League for some time and have the experience. I mean, this team seems stacked.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, right? They had a rough first week. I think it was a bit of a fluke considering they were having some tech issues, but I mean, they're here to make a statement, right? They're on to the 2-1 now, a completely less stressful pool than the 1-1, of course, that sends you off to elimination matches, which Big Frames now find themselves in, along with what is the next match between Infinity and Warriors International.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like we're only seeing kind of like the growing pains for Big Frames right now, right? Fresh roster. People can't forget that. I mean, these guys have been together for probably less than a day now. Yes, there is a core among the Frenchies who, I mean, it's a tough situation, and you're up against the beast of the 1-1 pool. So, I mean, you kind of got the short stick here if you're Big Frames. I haven't lost faith in them. I still think there's a lot of potential in that roster, and hopefully they can grind it out. And luckily for them, they won't play that match until next week, so they have some time to put together at least a basic, basics, just defaults, basic setups, standard setups across the maps, figure out who's playing where, just kind of get a little bit of the momentum rolling. And I think we'll see a much better Big Frames version next week. But for now, they got absolutely slammed by Under 21, who looks impressive as ever, Keith. But I think that pretty much sums it up for this matchup. Unless you have something to add, Keith. I see that you have something to add.
There's so many future stars in this league, and I want to keep seeing them develop. I think everyone should keep an eye on KMZ and specifically Fang. I think the system they're put in here is a really good one, and I think this team's going to go places. I kind of have the same feeling of KMZ that I did with Wardell way back in the day. And ever since I met KMZ and know his drive and determination, just keep an eye on him. I'm telling you that
okay.
Our league
like
is
that.
stacked with future players. It's crazy. Future greats.
I mean, at this level of play is where you find the next stars, right? I mean, this is the future generation of Counter-Strike in front of our own very own eyes, developing by the match, by the week. But yes, I'm excited to see their growth. Hopefully we'll see more of them next week in their 2-1 pool. But for now, we are going to go to a break, but before we do, please do follow our socials, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're here pumping you original content, fresh content every single week, every single day. So follow along if you're trying to keep up with what's happening. Of course, check out win.gg, and shout out to our sponsor, VBet, as they have a lot of Season 4 to happen, Keith. If they're contributing in many ways, and we are very appreciative of that. But I think the big thing to remember is that the action's not over, Keith. We still have one more, and it's an elimination match. Something that I love, Keith, the do or die. There is no try. There's no I should have, would have, could have. There's only winners and losers and people who will be moving on to next week and people who will be eliminated. And we will be seeing that in 25 minutes. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Enjoy the music, and we'll be back shortly with some action. For now, we are out of here. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.